Thanks, guys. It was great to be back inside of Kinnick Stadium this weekend for the spring game.
Yeah, Bo, it was so great to be back with Iowa football, but I did miss a lot of the former players that graduated.
That's right. Well, speaking of the most recent former Iowa Hawkeyes, this is a huge week for them as their lives could possibly all change as they wait to hear of whether or not they'll be drafted or picked up by an NFL team.
Our pre-NFL draft mini-series Beyond the Swarms continues today as Mary Kate Harrion sat down with offensive lineman Boone Meyers. Take a look.
Boone, thank you for sitting down with us, and congratulations with your time done at Iowa. Pro Day's over. We're going to kind of start from the beginning, though. You walked on at Iowa, so kind of talk about that whole recruiting process and then deciding to come to Iowa.
I grew up a Hawkeye. I grew up coming to all the games. Loved the Hawkeyes, and when Coach Morgan came to my school and offered me a preferred walk-on, and Coach Bryan came as well, I just decided to take it. Decided to gamble on myself and hopefully live out my dreams.
You got put on scholarship prior to your 2014 season, so talk about that and finding out, and then how you felt after it.
Oh, it was nerve-wracking at first because I didn't know what Coach Ferentz wanted to talk to me about. I got called into the office and I'm like, oh shoot, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And then he sat me down and told me I was on. He's going to put me on scholarship, and I remember calling my parents, and it was awesome.
And then you play, and then you get injured, kind of a blow to your senior year. So talk about that, and then the process of kind of rehabbing then to get back for this.
Yeah, I mean it was a blow. I mean it wasn't fun by any means.
No, yeah.
And it never is. But that's life. It's going to happen, and I had to make a decision on how I was going to deal with it, and I just chose, it's life, and these guys still need me, so I came here every day, rehabbed, and tried to be a coach out on the field and kind of help the younger guys that were stepping up into roles.
So then that short period of time you had to really, at somewhat full strength, get ready for Pro Day.
Yeah.
How was the training process there? I mean, you trained with Coach Doyle, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun being out here with all my guys.
Yeah.
We went 4 or 5 years together, and it was kind of nice to have one last few months to kind of be together and work out with Coach Doyle and the training staff, and have one last kind of hoorah together.
And then in all your time at Iowa, can you pinpoint one moment, one game, anything, the best moment at Iowa?
Probably be the Michigan game, 2016. Yeah, it was a fun night. You could just feel it in Kinnick. It was just electric, and everyone was playing really well. And we had a lot of young guys step up and just knock off number one or number two, whatever they were ranked, by a field goal. That was a fun way to end it.
And then I know you're probably not thinking about this at all, and it's years down the road for you. But life after football, have you thought about what's next or what you want to do?
I honestly have not really thought about it. If everything worked out, I'd probably just own a house out in the middle of the woods and
there you go.
Just be on my own.
All right, well, thank you for sitting down with us, and good luck with everything in the future in this next month.
Thank you.
I also got to sit down with former Iowa wide receiver and record holder for most games played as a Hawkeye, Matt Vandenberg, to talk about his time in the black and gold and to see what's next for him. Here is episode 5 of Beyond the Swarm. This is Lucy Roedean sitting down here with former Iowa wide receiver Matt Vandenberg. Matt, thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm happy to be here.
So let's just start off with the beginning. You kind of have a typical Iowa football kid story. You weren't super highly recruited out of high school, but ended up coming here to Iowa. What was your recruitment process like, and what made you choose Iowa?
It was pretty much non-existent. I went to a lot of camps and things like that, trying to get my name out there. But kids from South Dakota don't get a whole lot of exposure, but these guys do a really good job in recruiting that. With Riley Reef, Brady Reef's on the team right now, Wes Dvorak, and obviously Chad Greenway. Hard to miss him out, but the really family type atmosphere is what drew me here, and they were also the only team that gave me a shot.
So going ahead to 2016, you came in with a lot of expectations, and unfortunately your season ended early. What was it like to sit there and kind of have to watch your team play, sit on the sideline, miss out on that year?
It was brutal. Anytime you're a competitor and you don't get to compete, it's hard. But my role kind of shifted. I went to kind of like a coach. I tried to help BK as much as I could, who's our receivers coach at the time. You know, what I was seeing, and I could also learn from them, you know, and instead of just worrying about my own game, I get to see how different guys play and kind of try and incorporate that when I was able to come back.
So 2017, you opened up against Wyoming. What was the feeling like to finally be back on the field after such a long time off?
Well, I got chills. I mean, I almost teared up coming out of the Swarm. I mean, it's a feeling that you can't recreate, and something that, you know, I missed for the majority of 2016. So, you know, it's not that I took it for granted before, but I definitely wasn't going to take it for granted after that.
How does it feel knowing that you're not going to put on that black and gold uniform ever again? Has it sunk in yet?
I mean, it's weird. You know, I see pictures from spring ball and things like that, and it's odd not being out there. But, you know, I'm excited for what this next chapter has.
So speaking of the next chapter, I mean, a big part of that is Pro Day. How do you think Pro Day went for you?
I think it went well. You know, I mean, I think that there are things that I probably could have done a little better in, but, I mean, I always feel that way. You know, I never feel like I've maxed out, so, you know, I always can work to get better in that way. But, you know, I'm just excited for what this next month holds.
So if there are some NFL teams out here watching DITV right now, what would you tell them? What would you say to take a chance on with you?
You know, I was only given one opportunity, and I made the most of it, and I'm just looking for one more opportunity.
I want to thank you again so much for joining us, and myself and the Daily Iowan wish you the best of luck as you continue in your journey.
That's all we have for you in the sports studio today.
Guys, back to you at the desk.